Hey guys, Mobile Geezer here. Since on Friday Night Tech Talk, we did our big story about the Samsung Unpacked event debuting their new product, especially the Z Fold 6 at $1,900. I came across this good article from Jerry Hildenbrand from Android Central that I thought was just interesting and you guys might like to see it. Now, of course, Jerry has been with Android Central as far back as I go, and I go back at least to 2014 when Phil Nicholson was still in charge. And even then, Jerry was probably the best and most knowledgeable writer they had, and he still is. So let's go take a look at this article.
Let's do this!
So, as I said, from Android Central, this was from yesterday, the 13th, by Jerry Hildenbrand. Some of you probably have heard. I met Jerry back at the Big Android barbecue back in 2015, and he's just as nice and knowledgeable in person as he is in video. So, the Samsung must think foldables are for suckers. Don't pay what Samsung is asking, or they will keep asking that much. And he has been very consistent about this for all the years. He thinks they're way too expensive. So let's drop this into read a view and get rid of some of these ads. Samsung spent a few $1,000,000 to show some of its new products this week. It was a typical tech event with executives telling us how great the new stuff is going to be, how much we're going to love it, and why their company is important enough for you to spend an hour listening. What it didn't tell you is that the company thinks you're a sucker. That's the first thing I thought when the dust settled, because Samsung thinks you'll spend nearly $2,000 on a phone, and it's right. At least some of us will. I won't, and neither should you. And I'm with him, I won't either. I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't pay more money for a phone that folds in half or how you should spend your money in general. Everyone spends money on things they don't need, including me. I'm telling you that you shouldn't be buying your folding phone from Samsung because if you do, nothing is going to change, especially the pricing. I'm not really faulting the company for adding $100 to the price. Everything is more expensive, and the 5% bump should have been expected. It just happens to be 5% on a price that was too high to begin with. Analysts and tech writers have been saying how foldables will become more accessible and less expensive for the past 5 years or so. I can't find anywhere that Samsung actually said it's definitely happening, but the company happily goes along with the idea and has never stepped up and said it's not going to happen. Samsung has gone so far as to say that it's trying to make it happen, but it just hasn't done it. I get that making a fancy hinge and a glass protected bonded screen that folds in half will add to the cost. But look at what other companies are doing. Do you really think that Samsung doesn't have a stronger supply chain or better access to materials than OnePlus or Google or Honor? Of course it does. If for no other reason than many of the components come directly from Samsung itself. That's very true. Why are Samsung's foldables as expensive or more expensive than what other companies offer? Maybe every single piece inside of a Z Fold 6 is better than anything a competitor is offering. Or maybe Samsung knows it can charge whatever it likes because the people who are going to buy one will buy it regardless of the price. This, I think, is what Samsung is counting on. Samsung knows almost nobody buys foldable phones and has even admitted that most of the people who do buy one are people who already have one. The company also knows that it no longer sells the lion's share of folding phones, but does it care? And he gives a chart to back that up. 2023 quarter one, 2024 quarter one. And you can see going from high to low in 2023, well, Samsung had the lion's share at 58%. Huawei came in second with 14%. Of course, the total of all others had 23%. And Honor had a 3% share. Now, if we come to 2024 quarter one, Huawei has jumped up 257% to 35%. Samsung has dropped 42% and now only has 23% compared to the 58 they had the year before. Honor has jumped up to 12% from the 3% they had before. And if you look at 2023, Motorola didn't even hardly register. Well, now there's 11% of the market. So things have really changed, and Samsung is no longer the leader. One way to gain market share is to streamline manufacturing and sell cheaper phones. A 10% profit margin on millions more products is as lucrative as higher margins on things that aren't selling. This would fit right in with Samsung's message that everyone should want the foldable because they are cool, and it's exactly how Samsung beats out Apple to sell the most smartphones year after year. Offer more, sell for less, and people will buy it. An alternative plan is not to give a damn about market share, change as much as you can, and depend on those repeat customers who you think are going to buy your overpriced products anyway. And yes, people who will buy a new Z Fold, no matter the price, do exist. Too many of them, in fact. The only thing we can do as consumers is not to buy overpriced products, to stop being a sucker. If enough people vote with their wallets, we'll get more for our money. I know I'm not going to change anyone's mind by writing this. If you think Samsung is charging too much for a Fold 6, you don't need me to tell you. On the flip side, if you're going to buy one anyway, you'll think I'm foolish and might even take the time to let me know. I do know I'm no sucker and won't let Samsung treat me like one. Just wanted to let you guys see that. I just thought it was an interesting article from one of the people we all think is one of the most knowledgeable guys around. So, as always, comments are welcome. Thanks for watching. And remember, if you like my content, please share the videos with friends, family, or whomever you think might be interested. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and be sure to click the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos that I upload. And please hit the thumbs up, as it does help with the algorithm.
So there's one other thing.
We all do better when we love each other.
Yeah.